Hey guys, so I got a request from Omega Supreme Beard. First, I want to say that is a really awesome name. Um, so here's his message. He says, um, "Can you do something with Banshee?" So totally can. So because of that request, I am doing a video for him. Shout out to Omega Supreme Beard. Um, Banshee's an interesting character. There's some cons. There are some cons with her, and I think I'll start with that first. Her gear level has to be 4 or 5. I forget which one it was that I actually started seeing worth with her, but it has to be that. And you have to make sure that she is at least a 5 or legendary 1 star character with at least 3,000 to 4,000 before you can actually see her worth. This is my current gear level with her. Obviously, I focused a lot on Death Whale because of the fact that it has the capability to stun. When you, for you new players, you guys get her. You'll see a lot of stunning with her, but as you progress in the game, once you get to my level, it's not likely to stun just because of the fact that now everybody's got like legendary characters. They have stun capability, stun immunity. Excuse me, stun immunity, things like that. Um, so we have a couple things that we can do with her. She can gain invisibility from when an enemy takes bleed damage. Sorry, she can get 80% chance to apply death immunity and true sight to a random ally. She can also apply buff immunity to all enemies when an ally dies. Deathly Whales. She can do 15. She has a 15% chance to stun. If an enemy has a positive immunity, she has another 30% chance to use Death Whale when a buff purge is removed. 75% chance to apply a heal immunity, which at level 3, 75%. Unless you're aiming for like closer to 100, 75% is perfect because you're gonna really just get apply those heal immunities all the time anyway. So other than that, you go to 10, you're gonna be getting close to 100, maybe 100. I didn't actually count it. I'm just guessing. And you're just going to be adding damage to it, which again, she's not really that strong character that's meant to actually be taking on enemies by herself. Curse Strike applies to bleeds at level 4. You get it to level 7, you're just going to apply 3 bleeds, so you're not really missing out on that extra bleed. So there's 2 ways you can go with her. You can purge debuffs. You can purge buffs. That's good, and that's one way to go with her. There is going to be that complication with it because of the fact that there's not a lot of characters in the game right now that have that purge buffs. So the other route is to go ahead with her first attack, which is bleeds. So I'm going to show you both. I'm going to show you guys 2 teams. One that focuses on that bleeding that bleeding capability of hers, and one that really brings out that whatchamacallit, that other one, sorry. So that buff purge. So there's a couple ways you can do this. Now you can go ahead and have 2 reds to 1 blue, a green. Chemo, I find it, if you guys are gonna go the route with go that bleed damage route with Banshee, I would suggest that I would say that the first 3 characters, the main 3 characters you guys would need would be Chemo, Robin, and say you want to go the route with Silver Banshee, you can. The 4th one is optional. It depends on whether or not you guys have Suicide Squad Joker. I will show you the reason why. But I mean, mainly because his main skill will actually apply bleeds to everyone, which is a variant, and it also applies an extra one to certain people. Now the other route we can go with her, and again, this is not exactly like the easiest route, because remember that we're not exactly blessed with an abundance of characters that can purge buffs. So there's a team that I'm thinking of. Ocean Master real quick. He shields. I'll show you guys in here. So with Ocean Master, Arcane Lightning purges 1 buff. You get to level 6, it can purge 2 buffs. Whoop-de-doo. Purge now. Aqueous Blockade purges 2 debuffs and gives 16 shield to each person. Orm's Rage, 50% chance to. It can actually remove 50% turn meter, and then it'll deal damage, and then 25% turn meter down to a random enemy, which more than likely will be the same one. So you're removing basically all their turn meter. Then we have Atlantean Stream, 81% chance to gain 2 speed up each time an enemy gains 1 or more buffs. So again, really good for this team. Now this one is again, there's an order with these characters that you really want to look at. For instance, Orm's Rage. When you legendary it up, it deals damage and 25% turn meter down to an additional random enemy. So you want to make sure that's your first one you legendary with Ocean Master. Second one you want to legendary up is Arcane Torrent, because when you legendary it up, Arcane Lightning purges 1 additional buff. And as it stands, it's his Arcane Torrent is his passive ability, which actually has a 41% chance to use Arcane Lightning on a random enemy at the end of an ally's turn if that ally is shielded. So that's why we want to add him in here. He would even do good in a, believe it or not, Green Lantern team because of their shields. But we're not going to get into that. That's a whole other video. Wonder Girl. We already know all her skills, but we're not going to get into that right now. We're going to go into Lasso of Lightning. Lasso of Lightning deals damage to all enemies, double damage if all enemies have 2 or more buffs, and at the same time it purges 3 buffs from all enemies. On top of that, at the start of each enemy's turn, if that enemy has 6 or more buffs, purge 2 buffs, and 61% chance to use Lasso of Lightning. So we're talking about minus 6 buffs, minus 2 buffs, plus another 3. We're talking about 5 buffs. Easy. So we're going to go ahead with stage 5. I think that'd be good, because I didn't really work on chemo like that. I got him up to legendary, but I didn't actually work on him. So again, the reason why we're using Robin as team leader is because each ally has a 33% chance to go invisible when critically hit. Now, that is also a good skill if you guys are using Batman Beyond, just a heads up, because Batman Beyond's 3rd skill actually does more damage when he's in stealth. But anyways, we're going to go with this. He didn't start invisible, and we're going to again do the bleed section of Banshee. So there's a couple ways you could do this. We'll make him invisible. There's an interesting thing with Killer Croc, but I didn't mention it. I forgot to mention it, mostly because it's not that important. But Chemo is definitely a perfect person to use for this team, because he has his 2nd skill, which is the one I just used, applies bleed to everyone. His 3rd skill applies bleed. His 1st skill applies silence to everyone that actually is bleeding. And Robin, he can actually go ahead and if he'll do 45% crit chance if Robin is sorry. And again, I'll even show you guys like with tougher teams. I'm just showing you guys like the basic of it. I've never actually, I haven't used a bleed team in a while before actually. Now, when he's stealth, if you use this second skill, he'll actually heal. And on top of healing, he'll go ahead and gain 35% turn meter. Just a thought for you guys. So let's say we use Banshee, her whale. So we're gonna get rid of those, and she's also gonna cause, and he's gonna cause a bleed. Now the thing with Killer Croc that I didn't mention, and I'll show you guys after this. While he can cause bleed, he also has another legendary skill which I did not mention because I don't ever get to use it, but it allows him to use his third skill automatically. I think at the current level, it's not really gonna make much of a difference for me to show you. But this is the reason why you want Robin to be in your team, and the reason why you want to work so hard on him if you're gonna go the route of a bleed team. He will always, when he's invisible, he'll always apply 6 bleeds to one target. That's provided they can survive, because that is also one of his stronger skills. And this is the skill that I was trying to tell you guys. And I'll show you the reason why Killer Croc used that skill, even though he wasn't up. So this is third skill. This is Chemo's third skill. It's called Fallout. He's gonna do 15. He has a 15% chance to minus 15% all enemy turn meters, only usable if 6 bleeds among all enemies. So we've just added 6 plus another, plus I think there was like 2 or 3 on her. So you want to go this route, then you're definitely looking at it's definitely a lot of fun, but it's a slow fight because usually characters that cause bleed aren't that strong. And people like Chemo doesn't really do much. He only has like 1 attack. His 1 attack just causes silence, provided the character is actually bleeding. So that's one way. And I'm going to show you what I forgot to show you about Killer Croc. So with Killer Croc, this is what he used. Cannibal Claws. So he has damage to an enemy, yada, 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 blah, 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 right? It's his passive ability, King Croc, which at end of Killer Croc and each ally's turn, 60% chance to use Cannibal Claws if an enemy has taunt. So as long as an enemy has taunt and he his ally is attacking, he has a 16% chance to use Cannibal Claw. But again, it's required that the enemy taunts, and it's not like possible. It's not like it's gonna be like, oh wow, they're taunting, and you're guaranteed to get it. So, I'm gonna show you another version of that. All right, let's say we get rid of Killer Croc, right? The other one you can use is Suicide Squad Joker, and I'm gonna show you the reason why. Suicide Squad Joker is really good on a number of levels. His basic skill will cause a character to bleed. So we're gonna start with a couple of these. So I don't want to draw attention away from Banshee, but at the same time I want to show you guys something. So this is him. So his first skill, he does 50% chance to deal an additional light damage to random enemies. He applies 3 bleeds to enemies hit by the additional damage. This one will allow him to stun. This one, he just does random damage. But we'll even start him off using that. So Chemo applies 2 bleed to everyone. That's 6. We're going to add 1 more. And next, we're going to have our Suicide Squad Joker come up. He's going to spray on all of them. We're going to have that. And we're going to give Robin invisibility. Now this is one of Chemo's skills, Fallout, which is going to give them all those bleeds. And next we're going to go ahead and just add some more bleeds to everyone. Now, provided I can get Chemo to go ahead and silence, because he has like a special damage. He gains 1 men if target is bleeding, silence if there's 3 bleeds on the target, which is like hard to do, as you guys know. I mean, not hard to do, not on a team that causes bleeds, but all right. So we're just, again, I'm not gonna do like the more powerful skills, only because I want to show you guys the potential that Banshee has on a bleeding team, on a team that causes bleed. So we're gonna go ahead with that. He didn't cause any bleeds, but that's fine. Because again, we have Banshee and we have Chemo, who's gonna be causing everyone to bleed anyways. So and that is, so I'm just gonna do this to heal, and we're gonna see. Yeah, and that's that. So that's those are 2 ways to go ahead with the bleed. The other way, you can also say you don't want to go. Say you want to add. You can also add. What's her name? Siren. That's another character you can add. Because with Siren, her first skill, as long as the target's bleeding, she'll go ahead and add 4 bleeds. Her second skill will add 4 bleeds. And with Siren, Zebul's Fury, when you legendary that up, Zebul's Fury actually attacks everyone in the enemy's team. And you will also, when you legendary it, it actually applies one bleed. So now we're just gonna go with the with like purging debuffs. I mean purging buffs. Let's see if the enemy will actually go ahead and purge some buffs for us. I mean, we'll actually go ahead and buff. But that's one thing that Green Arrow can do. He can actually go ahead and attack. As long as one of your characters are shielded, Orm is gonna be attacking with. And look, I just purged a buff. There's Banshee. There's no buffs left for Lasso of Lightning to purge, but there's but the system still counts it as a purge. If even though the enemy team doesn't have a buff to purge. If there is, sorry guys, if there is actually, if it's actually going to purge the buff, then it's going to go ahead and do that. But so that's actually one of the ways. Sorry, I had a technical difficulty. But that's one of the things you guys can do. And remember, even though the enemy team does not have a buff, where Prince Orm or Lasso of Lightning from Wonder Girl going to purge a buff, the system is still going to count it as a purge, and that's going to trigger Banshee's Death Wail, which in turn, as you guys saw, can go ahead and trigger Ocean Master. So you can pop off 3 attacks, because Ocean Master's skill simply states that when one of your characters goes ahead and attacks while shielded, he will attack with. I forgot. I can't go ahead and do that on this one. So that's one of them. Now I'm gonna show you guys a team. I'm just gonna go a little off topic. just because I feel that I brought this up and I don't want to like just leave you guys hanging. And it might not work so well seeing as this is a strictly red team with like one green guy, but I just want to show you guys. So we have now Hal Jordan's an interesting character because of the fact that he's not very strong. Not you. In order for you to get anything out of Hal Jordan, you have to go ahead and get that nice legendary level, and you have to legendary his skills. But I'm gonna show you guys something interesting. The reason why I feel that Orm is pretty good in a Green Lantern team, provided he can go ahead and do his magic. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna finish this anyways, even though I could just defeat this team with an Atlantean team. I will show you guys. I will do a Green Lantern video if you guys want. Because Green Lanterns are fun. Don't get me wrong. They are fun to play. And Jessica Cruz is a very interesting character. Actually, you know what? Since I'm on this topic, I actually had somebody go ahead and ask me about Jessica Cruz. She's not that strong a character. But just because she's not strong, don't write her off yet. One of the things with Jessica Cruz is just like Green what's the name? Hal Jordan is very weak. Jessica Cruz is also in that boat. But there are some good things about her. For instance, for instance, she could give 18% shield at the current level I have it at, but it's also a 15% increase on the shield for each dead ally. She can apply 1 intelligence down if she's shielded, and she does special damage. She can go ahead and do special damage to all enemies, and then gain 20% shield if Jessica is not buffed. And the thing with Green Lanterns, that's their biggest thing. Just shield, shield, shield. They really just care about being shielded. And now I know you guys are gonna ask me, who do I feel is worth? Whether I feel Jessica Cruz is worth money. Honestly, I don't feel she's worth money, but if you're putting together a Green Lantern team, I do feel she's worth the effort because Green Lanterns need that shielding. Her passive ability, 20% chance to purge 1 buff from self at the beginning of the turn. In Blackest Night, that's her team leader ability. When an ally dies, she gains 30% shield. If already shielded, gains 3 intelligence up and 3 agility ups. I don't feel that her. I'm not gonna say that her team leader ability is terrible. But when you compare it to Hal Jordan, all allies gain stun immunity and 14% chance of 14% shield at the start of battle. Her team leader ability doesn't seem all that good. Now, with Hal Jordan, again, the reason why I said you don't see much of any worth out of him till you legendary him is because when you legendary him, the first one you want to go with is Power Gauntlet. Once you legendary it, he calls assist if Green Lantern is shielded. So as long as he has the shield, 1% shield or whatever, somebody's going to attack. And when you have a Green Lantern team, Hal Jordan is a necessity, and so is Arcus. Because Arcus is a powerhouse. He is just dangerous. For Tumean Fist, 50% chance and -4 shield if Argus is shielded. Gain 1 strength up if Argus is not shielded. Issue challenge. He can attack twice with 60% chance to gain 3 strength ups. Then target attacks Argus once. That's provided they can survive, because usually you're just going to kill them. Especially when you're going against reds, they're just going to die. Sword and shield. He gains 23% shield and 4 strength up. Paragon. He gains 52% chance to use Tomei and Fist and gain Enrage. This is passive ability. That's the one that you guys saw where somebody attacked him. He had the chance. He went ahead and attacked them in return. So those are 3 of them. You have a couple guys. I mean, Sinestro, when you legendary him, he has an enraged skill that allows him to gain some healing, some mends. You could go with this one, Metaphil. Seed Construct adds a 1 mend random ally. You get that to like, it's really just gonna add 2 when you get it to like 8, 9, so it's not all that great. Shield of Veteran is gonna do a 22, is gonna give him some shielding and some taunting. Hypnotic Light is gonna apply 5 strength down and 3 speed downs. If the target, and the 3 speed downs will only come if the target's enraged. So you're really gonna have to pair him up with in a Green Lantern team Sinestro. Or even, Sinestro, or, even with the current meta where Atrocitus is like so big, he would definitely help you out. The Will to Live, apply 10, you give someone damage immunity and 10% shield to everyone, and then a damage immunity when legendary up. When you legendary this, you're just adding +1 on your duration. Hero J586 is this team leader ability. Random ally gains 3% shield at the start of every ally turn. I haven't tried him as a leader. I might. But anyways, drop a comment below. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you guys could know when I drop a new video. And just let me know what other teams you guys want. Other than that, I'm sorry for the super long video. Again, it's Banshee, and I also wanted to answer that one other question about Green Lanterns, about Jessica Cruz, which is by, I forget who. It was somebody. As you guys can see, I was getting a lot of different actually it was Omega Supreme Beard. So I actually just answered both his questions. He said, is Jessica Cruz not good? Again, she's good. But like Hal Jordan, you have to work on her. You have to put the time. You have to put in time and effort, and you have to make sure you legendary her up. I really believe that, just like Hal Jordan, she's not going to see any worth or and put in that much work until she's legendaried up. And when we look at her skills, again, when we look at the legendary versions of her skills, 65% chance to strike twice if an ally is dead for shield, power, blast. That's definitely nice. Damage plus 40 per dead ally. That's another nice one. Also apply 3 affinity resist ups. Again, she's more reliant on having dead allies, which is the thing, which is very consistent with the comic books. When Boz was actually when her and Boz were fighting Atrocitus in comic book issue, I think it was number 2 or 3, Boz gets his arm broken, and that's when Jessica Cruz was able to summon such a big construct of will to actually go ahead and destroy the Red Tower. So it is consistent with the comic books. But anyways, I'm not gonna hold you guys up anymore. And so I love you guys. Take care. Bye.